Hi, my name is Amira binti Muhammad Han. I will present about chapter 2 and the literature review. So for the introduction, why we do this research is to provide some evidence in order to support our research, and many theories have been proposed to explain the importance of social network among student university. On this chapter, we'll show you the importance of social network. We will identify, evaluate, and synthesis to provide some relevant literature. So, for the introduction of social network is a social media or a platform to stay connected with people no matter how far they are around the world. And the important thing is it is mass use and internet based. So social network nowadays is the main tool for the student to search a journal, to make a research. Even a book now is going virtually, and it makes things easier for the student instead of going to library and search the book there. That's all for me. Thank you. Hi, my name is Amira binti Muhammad Han. So I will present about background of United Arab Emirates. United Arab Emirates is a federation of 7 emirates along the eastern coast of Arabian Peninsula. So, United Arab Emirates have the other name, and the name is Al-Imarat Al-Arabiyah Al-Mutahida. As a monetary unit, in Malaysia, we use a ringgit Malaysia, but in United Arab Emirates, they use a dirham as their monetary unit. So next is the ranking of population in UAE is on the stage of 93 with the population of 9,585,000 people in their countries. So next I will explain about social in the United Arab Emirates. Social in United Arab Emirates is 1 to 9 of the Emirates residents are citizens, and the other half is a migrant from the Southeast Asia and the Asian people. Next is the political. The political in United Arab Emirates, they have no political parties in UAE until the beginning of 21st century. The beginning with the 2019 election, half of the council member must be a woman. That was the rule of their political. Next is the rule of their political. Next is the economy. So the federation economy is dominated by the petroleum produced primarily in the Abu Dhabi. Abu Dhabi contains one of the largest concentration of the petroleum oil and significant portion of national budget. So I will introduce about Emirates Group. That is the MNC company that me and my group have choose. Emirates Group is an international travel and tourism holding company based in Dubai, United Arab Emirates. This is the parent company of Emirates Airline, which operate extensive network of international air passenger and cargo service worldwide. Emirates Group is originally founded in 1985, and now Emirates Group has been one of the largest international carrier in the world. That's all from me. Thank you.
Type of global economic system. Free market economy based on oil and natural gas production. This industry combined take up more than GDP. The health of the UAE economy as a whole continues to fluctuate with the work price of hydrocarbon and the economic vitality of its largest trading partners. Among the most important corporations based in the UAE is the Abu Dhabi National Oil Company. Global agreement that the country involved on March 15, 2004, US signed a trade and investment framework agreement with the United Arab Emirates provide formal framework for dialogue and economic reform from and trade liberalization. In March 2005, US began negotiating a free trade agreement. In early 2007, the US and the UAE announced that they will not be able to complete FTA. In 2012, UAE became party to the US GCC Framework Agreement for Trade, Economic Investment and Technical Cooperation. TIFA signed by the US and UAE has provided a forum for both nations to expand bilateral trade and invest. UAE has signed free trade agreement with Singapore. UAE became a contracting party of the General Agreement on Tariff and Trade in 1994 and subsequently became a member of the World Trade Organization in April 1996. Political, social and legal environment of country. Constitutional Federation. The UAE is a constitutional federation established in December 1971. Political identity. The UAE has its own flag, coat of arms and national and then how political system work. The political system is based on the constitution which explains the main role of the political and constitutional organization of country.
I'm Nahindran, today going to present on Hofstede Culture and Dimension. Hofstede Culture, developed by Gerd Hofstede. It shows the effect of a society's culture on the values of its member and how these values relate to behavior. This culture led to 6 cultural dimensions, which are power distance, individualism or collectivism, masculinity or femininity, uncertainty avoidance, long-term or short-term orientation, and restraint or indulgence. First, power distance. Power distance is defined as the extent to which the less powerful member of institution and organization within a country that expect and accept the power which distribute unequally. In the United Arab Emirates, the people accept a hierarchical order in which everybody has a place and which no need further justification. Hierarchy in an organization is seen as reflecting inherent inequalities. Centralization is a popular subordinates accept to be told what to do, and the ideal boss is a kind-hearted autocrat. Second, individualism. Issue addressed is by the dimension is the degree of interdependence a society maintains among its members. It's related with whether people a self-image is defined in terms of I or we. In individualist society, people are supposed to look after themselves and their direct family only. In collectivist societies, people belong to in group that take care of them. In the United Arab Emirates is considered a collectivistic society. This is manifest in a close long-term commitment to the member group, be that a family, extended family, or extended relationship. The society fosters strong relationship where everyone takes responsibility for fellow members of their group. Masculinity indicates that the society will be driven by competition, achievement and success, with success being defined by the winner or best in the field. In the United Arab Emirates, can be considered to be neither masculine or feminine. A feminine society is one where quality of life is the sign of success and standing out from the crowd is not admirable. The issue here is most motivates people wanting to be the best masculine or liking what you do feminine. Uncertainty avoidance has to do with the way that a society deals with the fact that the future can never be known. Example question: should we try to control the future or just let it happen? This brings with an anxiety, and different cultures have learned to deal with an anxiety in different ways. United Arab Emirates exhibiting high uncertainty avoidance maintain with the belief and behavior and are intolerant of improper behavior and ideas. In this is an emotional need for rules. Even if the rules never seem to work, time is money, people have inner argue to be busy and work hard. Precision and punctuality are the norms. Innovation may be resisted. Security is an important element in individualism motivation. Long-term orientation. Describe how every society has to maintain some links with its own past while dealing with the challenges of the present and future. And society prioritizes goals differently. United Arab Emirates not included in this dimension. Lastly, indulgence. This dimension is defined as the extent to which people try to control their desires and impulse based on their way they were raised. Relatively weak or control is called indulgence, and relatively strong control is called restraint. Next, we'll look on how Emirates Group and United Arab Emirates UAE itself managing the environment as they go global. Sustainability and eco-efficiency are the cornerstone of all Emirate Group operations both in the air and on the ground. The greatest proportion of their carbon emission come from the consumption of jet fuel, so their selection of aircraft and how they operate present the best opportunity for reducing the environmental impact. Looking onto the aircraft. Based on the Emirates policy, eco-efficiency technology available means they have one of the youngest fleets in the industry. The environmental benefit of operation a modern wide-body fleet include both reduced noise and lower engine emission. All of their aircraft are fully compliant with International Civil Aviation Organization (ICAO). Emirates Engineering ensures that the aircraft are performing at their optimum level at all times. And the engine washing procedure keep internal engine component clean, maintain fuel efficient performance, and extend the useful life of the engine. This procedure saves thousands of liters of water each wash, and having a clean aircraft exterior helps to reduce fuel consumption and emission by making the aircraft lighter and more aerodynamic. Next, operation. They have invested in one of the best flight planning system available to carefully plan flights and optimize routes based on each day's weather condition, airspace constraints, and the specific aircraft allocated for each sector. Example, on landing, the pilots use idle reverse thrust instead of full reverse thrust and switch off one engine while landing where it's safe and practicable to do so. All of these measures help to save fuel and emission as well as to cut down noise. On board, their economy class blankets on long-haul flights are made from 100% recycled plastic bottles. Each blanket is made from 28 bottles which have been chipped, spun into yarn, and woven into soft, warm, and sustainable blankets. Using these blankets both prevent the plastic bottles ending up in landfill and save energy and emission in the manufacturing process compared with using new plastic materials. Finally, biofuel. Emirates spending billions of US dollars on fuel each year, so naturally they are monitoring the development of biofuel technology with great interest. They look forward to the development of biofuel that are technically safe, cost competitive, and truly sustainable with a variable supply chain in place from feedstock to aircraft. Lastly, we are moving to conclusion. As a leader in the aviation, air services and travel industries, the Emirates Group recognizes that environmental responsibility is core to their long-term business success. They aim to meet the needs of their customer while using energy and resources efficiently, minimizing waste, and operating our assets in the most environmentally responsible manner. Emirates Airlines should think wisely before making a decision to avoid and reduce problems in the future. Environmental protection is one of the most essential aspects to be considered by many businesses. Emirates Airlines has been faring relatively well by upholding different forms of corporate social responsibility directed at environmental protection and conservation, including using carriers that with limited air emission and noise. Besides, the airline is also involved in initiatives of supporting environmental protection through charitable activities such as funding, research and innovation aimed at fostering environmental sustainability. This step has played a crucial role in earning it a competitive advantage through self-regulation and avoiding penalties associated with floating environmental conservation laws. Thank you.